everybody? It is your boy, Jesus.
And it's your girl, Snoopp with 2 B's.
And today I'm going to go ahead and talk about relationships.
Ooh.
And, you know, me, I'm not a relationship expert. I'm sure Snoopp isn't either. But I think there's some things about relationships we should talk about. Like, what will make your relationship last? So, you know, I'm going to list some things. You know, if Snoopp has something to throw in, you know, go ahead and throw it in. But,
okay.
First thing, I think a lot of people need to take your time. Learn the person who you're in a relationship with. Before, you know, you go out there, start posting them to social media, start trying to gain validation from your friends. You pretty much got to know who you're dating. And I think you see too many people looking for that social validation. And what does social validation give you? Nothing. I mean, Snoopp, you have anything?
I want to ask you, what is a good period of time to get to know somebody?
A good period of time to get to know somebody, you should at least spend at least the first 3 months into trying to get to know the person, because there's a lot of things that you may not know about the person you're with now. I mean, you know that person, but you still don't know their favorite color. And not even something nitpicky like that. I mean, do you get to learn their habits? Do you get to know, you know, what's the red flags, and are you addressing the red flags? Not just, you know, knowing the red flags, you see them. And can you handle whatever the red flag may be? Because nobody's perfect, without a doubt. I think that's the good thing about getting to know somebody. You know what you're getting into before, you know, you go even further. Yeah. But
I mean, 3 months is good.
What would you say for you though?
I would say at least 7 to 8 months.
7 to 8 months, and that's fair. And that's fair because really, a lot of people I know who I went to school with, a lot of them got married like out of high school. But the problem is, I think when you're marrying somebody out of high school, the high school person is the different person from the college person. Like you have a whole lot of growing to do, and a lot of times people grow differently. A lot of people don't grow together, they grow apart. And you know, there's never really too long unless, you know, you just wasting time at some point. But, you know, I think relationships should, you know, it should also even out. It should also even out. What is it that you and your significant other that's going to help each other out? Because when you're in a relationship, you should at least be able to take the load off the person you're with. Because outside of the relationship, you have things that you have to go through. Like you have a job, you have families. You know, as us, we're getting older, so we're losing family members. Friends, when it comes to friends, a lot of times things aren't always peachy with friends. You know, there's other things outside to where, you know, when you're with your significant other, it should all calm down. You should be able to talk to them about certain things, and you know.
That was my next question. What do you think a relationship is?
A relationship, to me, it's the stage to it's really something in which you have to figure out, do you really want to be with this person or do you not? I mean, because relationship to me is just like, it's like when you date, that doesn't automatically mean you're in a relationship. But when you date, it goes from date, relationship, marriage, or either child, you know. It's just another step. It's like step 2 in the in the being together manual. And a lot of times when you with somebody, you gotta understand the risk of, you may never talk to that person again if things don't work out.
Yes.
And shoot, you gotta be okay with that risk.
Yes, you have to be okay with that. That's a big part of wanting a relationship. You have to be ready to sacrifice your emotional state, I guess.
Yeah, that's 100%. And you know, you gotta, it's just like when you have a child, you gotta get ready to not be selfish anymore. And for those of you that feel like, oh, I have control over my relationship, all the people that want control, you were probably in for the most rude awakening there is when it comes to relationships. And y'all probably gonna be the ones that's on social media whining about how niggas ain't shit and bitches ain't shit. But hey, it is what it is. You gotta, and this is what I'll say with relationships. If a relationship ends and it doesn't work out, take some accountability. I mean, you gotta take accountability, rather you allow too much happening, rather you actually were a part as far as not knowing when to shut your mouth, or, you know, just not being able to communicate, you know. Take some accountability, because that's the only way you can become better in a relationship.
Yes. So, would you say that a relationship is based off of where you at in life, as far as what you have?
Yes and no. And I'll say yes if wherever you are in life you're willing to go even higher. Right. If you're willing not to be stagnant and actually grow, then hey, that's totally fine. But if you're not trying to make anything more of what you're not already doing, you're not really ready for a relationship. Because if you love yourself, you will always want yourself to grow, and you can't be fine with just mediocre. So.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, Snoopp, let me ask you something. When it comes to advice in relationships, do you think you should take advice from friends or just do it your way?
I mean, some advice is good advice. You know, taking advice from yourself is not really always the right answer, because sometimes your head is in a whole different place.
Especially when you're in a relationship.
Because I could be mad at a situation, but not seeing my partner's point of view.
That's 100 right there. That is 100 though, because I think a lot of times we get in relationships and, you know, our mind is so focused on the relationship going the way that we think it's going to go.
Want it to go, right.
And it's not going to always be that way. And, you know, we got to make sure that we are paying attention to the little things, especially, you know, what's on your partner's mind?
Yeah.
How do they really feel about it? And, you know, the more that you talk with your partner and the more that you try to communicate, that's the better your relationship will go. Because, you know, when your significant other is afraid to talk to you, that's when it's a problem. That's a problem.
That's a huge problem. That's a huge problem. And you can't be afraid to open your mouth and say how you feel.
Yeah.
Because if you don't let them know what's the problem, how they gonna try to change it or know what to work on?
Yeah. People can't read your minds, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just wanted to give y'all, you know, a quick little open dialogue about relationships. Please, get in them comments. Let us know your perspective. Let us know, you know, what relationships need more of. And remember, Snoopp's Tuesday is coming Tuesday. So, be on the lookout for it. It's your boy Jesus.
And it's your girl Snoopp with 2B.
And thanks for joining me on Hey Thursday.
Thursday.